Hello and welcome back to ChristinaLee.MeditationAU. My name is Christina Lee and today we're going to be going over swooshes and swoops. I have gathered several different kinds of paint together to demonstrate the different textures of each paint. They're all different in my opinion and they all behave differently, so I thought it'd be fun to do a piece that would kind of highlight how all the different paints, like their different personalities. And this first one is the Martha Stewart Pearl paints. I love these paints and I just found out that they are discontinuing this brand and I'm quite devastated about it, but anyway, it's a great brand to make beautiful plumpy dots with. The colors when they dry, they are so pearly and very pretty, feminine, beautiful, and the puffiness of them, they don't really go flat too much. They do keep their kind of chubbiness, I guess you can call it, of the dots. And so I'm demonstrating different ways you can do swooshes. I do them all sorts of different ways depending on what style I want to do or what exactly I'm painting, like if I'm working on a flower or wanting to do just kind of a highlight of some sort or like a fleur-de-lis pattern. There's so many different ways you can do it, and this is a very basic swoosh, so you're just dropping your dot. And I always like to take another tool. This is a dotting tool that doesn't have a ball on the end of it, so it's really nice and easy to drag with it. And then this is another way you can do a swoosh, is just by taking the very tip of that dot and dragging it, and that's gonna leave more of a ball on the end of that swoosh. And you would want to do this for just depending on exactly what your design is, but these are really great for like flowers, or if you wanted to do swoops on the side of them to kind of give a little bit of an indent and a little more compact on the base of the swoosh. It's just really fun. And I believe this is, I think this is a Deco Art Metallics, that blue there. This is an Arteza. Sorry it's a little blurry. I'm still working on hitting that focus button every time I record. But this is an Arteza paint, and a lot of people that follow me use the Arteza paints. They're wonderful paints, and the more I use them, the more I'm understanding the personality of them. What's really cool about these paints is you can thin them out a little bit, and they do swooshes much better than if they were on a little bit heavier side, like if you were just making big fat plumpy dots with them. So I recommend, if you're going to do swooshes with the Arteza, getting him a little more on the thinner, watery side. You can always come back in with if you want a really thick swoosh, go ahead and draw your swoosh and then do like another layer of the Arteza while it's still wet to add more volume or depth to it. This is a color shift. Also another one of my favorites by FolkArt, or Plaid. And with these paints, you really got to take your time with it. They are very stringy, very similar to the Martha Stewart paints, and they are fabulous. I love them dearly. They're my favorite paints. I think I might say that about a lot of paints that I use, but it's very true. I love using the color shift in most of my projects. They're just glorious paints. Okay, so we're going back in with the Deco Art Metallics. I believe this is the Peacock Pearl. It's a very fun one. We're just coming in, picking that size dot you want, and then just dragging that dot down where you want it. It's really hard with the bigger dotting tools to get it to drag in exactly the right place if you're starting with the tool and dragging it with the same tool. It's very difficult to do. So this is what I was talking about earlier about that fleur-de-lis pattern. Just kind of going in, you have your dot there, and you can go in and kind of give a little bit of a curl to the side of that dot and just bring that in, and it's a really cool pattern. I do want to mention that if you are looking for these same dotting tools, I use them in the same ones in every single video, so I don't like to switch them up too much because I know there's a lot of people who like to recreate this kind of stuff. I do put a link in the description of this video to where you can purchase these, and they're pretty affordable. The whole set, there's 5 tools and a total of 10 different sizes, which I really love. And they are great. I've had them for about a year and they've really done a nice job. The Martha Stewart Pearl is pretty stringy. Their parent company is Plaid, which also makes the FolkArt Color Shift, which also has the same kind of strings, and their paint. And this is also the Arteza again, really thinned out. Very nice. The smaller dots that you drag, this is the second to the smallest tool size that I have, and I can get away with dragging these pretty evenly. If I get much larger than this, the dots tend to kind of be too short or go on forever, and it makes the piece look a little uneven. So it's something that you can practice. What you want to look for is to make sure that you're getting the same amount of paint on each time. Take your time with it and really observe how much paint is on the tip of your tool. I think that will really help. And then this is the smallest dotting tool I have. And I can usually get pretty even with each dot that I drag with this one. So you don't have to recreate this piece. You can do any piece you want, but this purpose of this video is more to help you understand the different elements that you need to know when trying to drag a dot. It takes practice. I'm still practicing my dragged dots. I'm getting better. Of course, a smooth surface is much easier than a bumpy surface. Like this is a canvas, it's a little bumpy. You can see the texture of the canvas, so that's not going to give you a perfectly dragged dot. But, you know, it is what it is. It doesn't bother me. The little imperfections don't bother me. This is a fabulous tool. It's a little micro dotter is what I call it, but it's an embossing tool for sewing, and it's got the tiniest little ball tip on the end of it. It's great for, I use it a lot for correcting dots or popping dots, dragging little tiny itty bitty dots like this. It's wonderful. But you can make your own, your own design. It doesn't have to be this. You can do this. This is a 4x4 canvas. And, get every single paint that you have, every single brand of paint that you have, and make a piece with it. Pick one color from each brand and make a piece with it and see how it goes. I could probably get away with the other nail stylus that doesn't have a ball tip on the end of it, when you're using this tool, you're getting a much more precise edge there than the non-ball stylus, just because it's a thinner head. And also I like to drag it to where I want to go and then sort of fill in the sides. So that way I can see exactly what the shape that I want it to be. This is really important when, you know, you're trying to do like maybe a specific flower design like I've done in other videos. And the swipes are not necessarily your typical just swipes or swooshes. Like they have shapes or curves to them. And that's funny, I was popping a bubble. And so it's really nice to do it this way to just be able to create that exact shape that you want. This video is sped up a little. I'm not sure how much, maybe 200 or 300%, maybe 250. So when you're practicing your swipes or swooshes, I would encourage you to take your time, breathe, go slowly, and think about each and every individual dot and swipe you place. Every dot deserves attention and every swipe deserves attention. Don't think about the next one you want to do. Just think about the one that's in front of you and the one that you're working on, and really give it the time and the space that it needs to be created. I think when you slow down and you really think about that, it helps with your concentration, and it also helps with kind of clearing your mind and, you know, not thinking about the future so much. Just living in the moment. And have fun with it. And I don't know about you, but anytime I have a square canvas, most of the time, I feel like I gotta put corners on it because they just don't feel done right. And this is no exception. It feels kind of a little bit empty, kind of negative space out there, hanging out in the ether. So we're just gonna add a little fun to the edges here, sort of in the same style as what the piece is all about. It's all good stuff. This is the Arteza, the silver. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope that helps answer some questions for you too. And, you know, kind of get a better idea of how to conquer the swooshes, right? So, I'd love for you to follow my channel, subscribe. And also I have a Facebook group. I'll link that below too. I have a lot of things going on. But the Facebook group is great. I post a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of people in there. We do color challenges every month. We do special challenges, like right now we have a flower challenge going on. See how you can create flowers from dots. It's really awesome. So if that's something that you are interested in and want to be challenged in, I've also linked that below, and come hang out and get to know us. It's a great group. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this video, and we will talk soon.